Hunter x Hunter, we're live. Thank goodness
All
we have
right.
Hunter x Hunter this week. Absolutely. Anthony, it's been a while. Very happy to be here. I might even started talking before we get to live. Hunter x Hunter, 349 and 141. We're going to go ahead and do the anime first this week. And both of them were awesome.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, they were totally awesome. All right, and there's definitely a lot of the chapter I want to get to, but let's go ahead and get to the anime. Okay, now I got my notes and everything broken down from it. And let's see. We had the carryover. The crowd cheering Pion, the one with the bunny ears, reminds everyone that they can watch today's Hunter footage on their site of Leorio knocking out Ging, and Pion, everyone. They absolutely have to watch it, I mean, it just showed us that he's pissed a lot of people off, didn't he?
It's so telling of where his character standing is with everyone else in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can just picture it being like in the trending list on YouTube or something. If it was in the real world, you know what I'm saying?
It would be
all those
massive.
viral videos.
Yeah, they don't hate him. They just don't like him. He's just, he's messed over a lot of people, like making the guy change his name so that the acronym worked. And
He's just
on the island. Yeah, on Greed Island, he is. But it also seems like he doesn't want to get too close to other people either. But we've seen the good side of him too, right? Which he hides. Have you noticed he hides it?
Yeah, I think he likes being kind of a rogue.
Yeah.
And like he's the kind of guy who's going to do these, do all these good deeds, but he's going to do it anonymously.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And it also lets him. And the thing with him, and in the future, but he seems to want to be able to do whatever he wants. So I don't think playing the good guy would quite fit his role. So we got Pariston with the Zodiac Hunter chairman vote, breaking down the candidates. And that kind of stuff, and then we go ahead and get to Killua, Aluka, and the Aluka Association chart, which we were talking about just before we went live on here, which is awesome. One of the things that was interesting too is the people that are closest connected to, of course, Killua loved Aluka, but the other people that were connected were the two Saboni. Amani or Amon, Amon, however that's pronounced.
Amane, I think it is.
Yeah, and they were listed together, which is interesting. Also, there was down in the corner. I actually went and looked at this. It was Kuluto. Remember the brother that actually thought was the sister, the one that hangs out with the mom?
Yeah, you talking about the one who's in the troop now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one is also connected there. So it gives us some kind of an idea. I guess that's the outside world. It's been mainly the two butlers and then Kuluto. Kuluto's a character we don't really know a lot anyhow.
No, very very little.
But still, the difference. Not naming another manga, but there's a difference between the mangaka that can actually tell a story and have things written out, and the ones that just going to do whatever. Well, anyway, whatever. The cheap shot. There it is. Okay, Killua was it angry? I can't believe that actually snuck out of me there. A little bit of. But anyway, Killua and the family's motivations, the factions. Even just a second on there, right before, the mother. The mother, Alumi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the heavy. I think it was the heavyset brother, the one with the computer. They're close to the mother. Right.
I think his name is Maluki or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Maluki. Yeah, probably. Yeah, and they're close to the mother, right? Where it's
he seems like a homebody,
Yeah.
He never leaves his basement.
Yeah, and even like Illumi, it makes sense because Illumi was like to his mother, "Hey, can I go? Can I take a turn with one of the butlers and make a test on Aluka?"
Yeah.
And just go ahead, son. You can experiment. They get killed, whatever. So it kind of makes sense.
I think Illumi, it's never been like really spelled out, but I think he's probably like, it wouldn't surprise me if he has a little bit of a jealousy against why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Killua?
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if he's a little bit jealous against him because like it was stated that the family is kind of expecting him to be like the next head of the family. He's like a prodigy.
Yeah.
And Illumi's sitting over here, and he's so skilled, but they're not really kind of like acknowledging it. And that's probably why he put that needle in his head, trying to like influence him. And then they show that chart where he's close to the mother and stuff. He's probably, I get that feeling at least.
Yeah, that
It
makes
makes sense to me.
And also, I know Kaluto's supposedly jealous of Killua, also the other brother.
Yeah.
But but because it's been graphed out, we can understand the factions, the motivations, even why some butlers, while they're trying to toe the line, they'll kind of lean, to help some of the family members more. They'll lean kind of away, because they don't like. As a matter of fact, it was this episode that Saboni was just basically like, I don't like the mother. I don't like her. I don't know if you remember that.
Did she say that?
She came out and said it wasn't just that. She's like, I don't. It was the mother, and just basically, I don't have the exact quote in here, but she's basically she didn't like her.
I plan on watching it again. I haven't watched it. I've only watched it once, so but yeah, there's little things that you can miss easily. I missed that. So
yeah, well, I'm sitting there slowly and stopping it, and taking and writing notes. So I mean, that's the only reason I picked this stuff up. But but it was basically he didn't like her and the like the kids that were associated with her. She said something like that. Said like Illumi, what didn't care much for him, and they're kind of cruel, so I can kind of understand.
Yeah.
But and also it's Killua's motivation. What does he want? He wants to save Gon, and he wants to free Aluka, which is I think going to be kind of the most difficult. Ends up being the most difficult part of this, right? So.
Yeah, definitely.
And let's see. Illumi reminds Killua the family does not see Aluka as family. Right? So not the prohibition about killing.
That's harsh. Those are tough cards to be dealt in life, At the end of the day, it is just a kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it has feelings. It's a human being. Well, I guess we don't know if it's a human being. But
well, partially.
yeah, there's something in it's human. But yeah, that's extremely rough, and that's the main thing that Killua has a problem with. People are, everyone in his family are just looking at it. I'm gonna say her. I still think it's a girl.
Yeah, I just say her too. It's easier.
Yeah, so everyone looks at her, just like she's dangerous. She's not even a person. She's a thing, and it's rough.
Well, right in here, the timing of this, I love this because Illumi, of course. He knows it's going to piss off, right, Killua, and then he launches his attack. And that attack, the 18-wheeler, iron girders in the car,
and then you see all the drivers. They have pins in their head.
Yeah.
And he's so creepy. Illumi is a creepy sucker, man. I tell you what. And then this car gets pierced by 5 of those metal beams.
Yeah.
And everyone in the car is still alive. Like, how badass are all these people? It's ridiculous, You can't even kill them throwing them off a cliff in a car pierced with metal bars,
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, even Hisoka said, quote, that was a little excessive.
And it's excessive if Hisoka says that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was. And then here's another timing thing right here. So, now... Hisoka wants Gon to live, as we all know. He wants him to grow up and become powerful so he can fight him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
And then he goes, can I kill Killua? And Illumi goes,
man.
Oh, and his killing aura thing just, and it was a warning. So that was Hisoka's way of pissing Illumi off to warn everybody, right?
It made me, when I seen him, it made me think of Palm.
Yeah,
it looked just like Palm. Like it had that black aura. You can only see an eye, just messed up. That was one of the only moments in an anime where I watched him. Like it was unsettling looking at him. He was. You don't want to mess with this guy. You know what I'm saying? That was extremely well done. Just the way it was. The way it was done in the anime, I thought it was really well done. Where they got across his bloodlust in that one moment. So,
like I said,
it was crazy.
It was awesome. And then Killua goes into his Godspeed, escapes the butlers. Right? And this is where I have the note, Sabone said she's not a fan of Killua's mother, or I have the note as Illumi. But I think she was just kind of the people that are close to her. But she may have said Illumi too. So Sabone not like the mother. Not a fan.
Yeah,
So,
well, she's
the cyborg.
she's probably been there the longest. I'm assuming she's probably like one of the first butlers that they ever had. So she's probably seen every little thing that this family has, done, been in all the business. So she's probably got a unique perspective on the family.
Oh yeah, and Gota. I thought Gota was a little, I guess he's high up, but he's like, hey, to Sabone, hey Sensei. That's his, So yeah, when they met up and everything, so we have a lot of respect there.
Yeah, it was definitely. I also did want to mention, 1 second before I move forward, that one part where they were tumbling down the hill, and I think it was Amane told, I think it was her who told Killua to make sure you hold on to Aluka, because if she's more than 5 meters away from you, then we have to take you back.
Yeah.
And it's even by accident. Even by accident, if she gets that far away from them, they're gonna cut this mission short and just haul them back. And that's how serious of what was it, level 4 he's at. That's how serious it is, and that I just thought that was kind of funny that even if something by accident happens, you can say, it doesn't matter. We're taking your asses back.
Well, even now you mentioned the levels, exactly, but the levels were explained, right? We're not just what does level 4 mean? He explained it, right?
And I love the little chibi, explanations. Like they did the same kind of thing that when they were explaining Luca's power.
Yes.
I love that. I think it's so well done.
It's the way it should be done, absolutely. And then there's the moment with Aluka. If I were gone, would everybody get along better? Now, what I want to say is real quick is Aluka's character, in my opinion, at least the human part, I think could have been done more. It could have been made more sympathetic in the manga. I was hoping it'd make her more sympathetic in the anime, but just kind of. These are great lines, but just the way that the voice, I don't know. To me, it's kind of wooden, But it's good lines. For me, But these are pretty strong lines. If I were gone, would everybody else get along better? And Killua, I do like this writing. Instead of going, oh, everybody loves you or whatever, and just lying, which is what would typically happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Killua was like, I think I'm gonna have to break into the truth here. I don't want to lie. If I were the only person in the world who truly loved you, would you be sad? Which kind of seems like the truth, right?
Oh, it is the truth.
Yeah.
I think so, at least,
Yeah, so he just like, okay, we're gonna keep the truth thing here, because here it is. And then Aluka was shocked, but that it made sense because Aluka's been locked in a cell or a vault, with toys. I mean, just to have someone that that she's been around that cares about her, it was a powerful moment. I just wish they would make her a little less of a walking doll and a little more,
She is a bit emotionless. She's either she's kind of only two-sided. You see, either her happy-go-lucky, she's really happy that she's sad, or there's no gray areas with her. She's either one thing or the other. She's not very dynamic. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's just what I'm saying. But I mean, it's maybe I'm just nitpicking, but it's just for me. And then we have the setup for the Hisoka Goto fight, which.
Oh man, am I so hyped for that fight. I loved that part in the manga, and I can't wait to see it animated. Even the little bit that we got at the end where he was shooting his coins, I'm like, oh, it's so awesome. It's so good.
Bungee gun versus
I really loved it.
coin machine gun. Their personalities. I like Goto. I like him. I like his abilities. And Hisoka is... the arrogance, I guess, just the confidence in the mind games, right?
He tells him his power, which is numero uno thing that you do not do in the hunter world. You do not tell someone your power. You even go as far as Jing to use another power to hide it. Sorry for the spoilers, but from the manga, But he's that confident, and it's so telling of his character. You know what I'm saying? That he's that confident. He just tells him what his power is. And even Goto's like, you shouldn't have done that because now I'm going to kill you. And, Hisoka's like, well, it doesn't matter if you know my power because you're going to die anyway.
Well, wait a minute. No. Actually, hold on. What he said was he gave him his ability. He told him what his abilities was, right? Bungee gum. This is how it works, And he gave him the idea. But remember, what he didn't tell him was his name. That was the line. No, he didn't tell Goto. He never told Goto his name.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "Who are you?" And that's the line that he says, "Why bother telling you my name to someone who's going to die?"
Is that what he said?
That's what he said. So it was about the name, but.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, he did say that, didn't he?
Yes, and it was like, oh my gosh, Goto or however that's out. He just called him a hack magician. But I mean, this guy, and he's sitting there with his coins, flipping them around. I mean, oh my gosh!
I love his power. He's so that battle. I actually hope they add a little bit of some filler into it because it was kind of short in the manga.
Yeah.
So I hope I wouldn't be disappointed if there was a whole episode just devoted to that, to be honest. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen Hisoka go all out,
Well, speaking of that, remember the fight? What was it, the Tower of Heaven? The one where they were fighting in the arenas and all that? Heaven's Arena.
Yep.
And he had an epic battle in there, and he's like, basically, look, this guy had me, but he broke him. Hisoka broke him mentally.
Oh, yeah. You talking about the guy who could, clone himself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And, he even sacrificed his arm in that fight.
Yes.
And Hisoka's one dude you don't want to fight.
You're not gonna break Hisoka mentally.
No, he's impervious to that. You either have to overpower him or die. Which you're not gonna overpower him. You're most likely gonna die. So that's that's like one of the few people, even people who I consider to be stronger than Hisoka.
Yeah.
I would probably want to fight them faster than I'd want to fight Hisoka. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the rock paper scissors. That's another reason I really like the series. It isn't just I got power level X and you got power level Y, and one of us is. It's all of a sudden now it's mind games. This person is more powerful. That person should have killed Hisoka right there, but he mentally broke down. He got broken by Hisoka.
Yep, and he saw right through his trick too. Yeah,
Yes.
I remember that. That guy. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he was kind of like a one-trick pony, and I can't remember if he spelled it out, but I think he also mentioned that it takes a lot of skill in order to do that, in order to clone yourself. But since he devoted so much time into learning that, it kind of worked to his disadvantage because now he sucks in every other category.
Right.
So he can break you down mentally. He's strong. He's a scary effort, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I just want to throw this thing in Yu Yu Hakusho. As soon as they got into the whole physical combat thing, they had that whole, in the arena and everything with physical combat. What do they do then? Then they start getting into the mental stuff.
Man, I really gotta watch that.
Territories. Oh, you haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho?
I watched, like I said, I watched the first 5 episodes and I stopped because I couldn't get into it. But I still have the Blu-ray set. It's just a matter of sitting down and watching it. So I'm gonna get to it because people keep telling me that Dark Tournament arc is great.
There's some good stuff in it, and the ending is nice and closed up. But anyway, okay, let's go ahead and you got the chapter. Let's go ahead and get in there. And oh man, I've been waiting, wanting to talk about this since I read it. Oh my gosh.
Yep, I got it open.
Okay, now the
Are
first
you on
part.
Stream?
Yeah.
Okay. So
now the first. Okay, yeah, a little bit there. We got and then what is this artwork at the bottom, right? And this is like human beings. It looks like, right?
I think that's the person that was being tattooed in that one chapter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is messed up. He's like Hannibal Lecter or something. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but it makes sense. It makes sense for another thing. But the dialogue here is the battle for succession commences the moment the sounding of the black whale's departure horn ends.
It's
Oh,
going to be a bloodbath.
oh
It
my
is gonna
gosh.
be a bloodbath. That is gonna be equal parts physical struggles and mental mind games. It's gonna be a cluster of awesomeness. I can't wait for it. And I never thought I would be excited about these princes that are, that just got introduced more than anything else on this voyage. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the only thing I'm going to criticize Tagashi for is I think people are so hyped to get to the Dark Continent that it's clear that a whole lot's going to happen before we get there, right?
Yeah. Well, at least we got a time frame this chapter though.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Well, yeah. I like it. I'm not in that hurry. A lot of people are like, well, I got to get there. I'm like, let's take our time. I mean, look what's going to happen on the ship. A freaking huge war.
I think
So.
everyone's worried more so that he's going to go on a hiatus before we go there. That's what everyone's worried about, you know.
That's always going to be in the back of the mind, right?
Yep.
The sole survivor. All right. Let's see. We got the pot, which was when I first started seeing this. I'm like, okay, we got a very short person, this pot, and then I looked over and I was like, the second prince, Camellia, and I'm like, okay, lady boy, Camellia. I didn't wasn't explained yet that this, all genders are, a prince, right?
Yeah, and I think I read a comment on one of the reviews on YouTube saying that I think that's something in the world where like almost like all the all the kids are considered princes.
Right.
And it's just like as a general term, a lot of people were speculating that that's kind of the same thing with the Zoldyck family. All the kids are considered sons, but they're still genders, and which kind of makes sense to me. I don't know if there's any weight in that, but that kind of explains why you got people referring to Aluka as a boy and then and then you got Killua here saying she's a girl. So I think that's maybe there's something there, maybe there's not.
I don't
Makes
know
sense
about
to
the
me though.
Zoldyck family. That's throwing a whole different thing in there. But I mean, I don't know. But I could understand because remember the whole thing was really kind of egalitarian. It was like we want to treat everybody get treated the same. We don't want the wives are not in a specific order, right?
Yeah.
Because they want to make sure, I guess, when they have this battle, it's the strongest is going to survive, and that's it, right?
Yep.
Let's see. I don't want to get ahead. I want to make sure I stay here. So we got that. And then, okay, they go ahead and explain. They go ahead and explain the wives. The 8 wives, 14 kids. Right there, I was like, okay, then that's going to be, some of these women have multiple kids. And then we get to the page, which looks like sort of the shrine that Krupika has with the eyes.
Oh man, this page. The artwork on it is gorgeous. I love it. It's not too complex, but what's there is just you see the
Powerful.
eyes behind them and a lot. I've heard. I don't know if I agree with it, but people were saying that head right above him is Pyro, his friend,
Right.
Kurapika's friend. And maybe it is, maybe it's not, but it's a cool little theory. But I just absolutely love the artwork on this page.
Well, yes, and when I saw, I said, "Oh my gosh!" And a lot of other people said this too. When Kurupika sees this,
He's gonna lose his
oh,
shit. He's gonna lose it.
I, I mean, what was so interesting is how he tried to downplay. Remember the confidence he had? He's like, they all say they're not going to give me the eyes, and then I convince him, right? And I mean, I don't even, I mean, just when he see this dude he's on a whole different level. And when they explain, the whole thing even more, well, they show more of the princes and everything. So they're going to fight, and you see the different. And we go ahead and with the notes here. Let's see. Okay, just real quick since we're here. Okay, the fourth prince, one the crazy one. I don't Tisernich or whatever it's pronounced. Him and Benjamin are brothers. Right?
Yeah, full brothers. It's the same mother, right?
Same mother, Uma. And then, I don't know, I probably get the pronunciations right, but Drusilla, um, Camilla, she has 4 kids. Camilla, Subipa, Lusurus, and Harkin. All 4 of those kids are hers. and then we see a couple of other ones. Seiko has two, and then Savanchi, has two there, and then a poor little Wobble. That's going to be a problem. Let me go ahead and click that
the,
page.
these princes, it's quite an eclectic group. You got different, very, very different, like, looking people. You got this dude, the ninth prince, Harkenberg, who's like looks like this scholar, and then you got this dude here, the seventh prince. I don't even know. I'm not even gonna try to say his name. He looks
Right.
like this bum or something. And then you got this scientist, this Subepa, the
Yeah.
fifth prince. It's very varied. I'm expecting to see all these the same type of people, but it's just a huge, like, it's like these people were born, but they're totally separate ways, and it's going to make the conflict on this black whale ship that much more awesome when you get such a varied group of people.
Oh, it's yes, yeah, and of course, once we get to the whole how these creatures work thing, it's going to get even more interesting. So I'm on the page where he's got the blood going into the pot, right?
Yep, I'm there. Yep.
Okay, when I saw this, I'm like, is this guy lying and actually the fight's already started? You know what I mean? Is he
Yeah.
gonna? Because when he's like, "Yeah, stick your hand in the pot, idiot," and get whacked, right?
Is it is it
Or Benjamin or something, huh?
is this pot giving them those creatures, or
Well,
do they already have the creatures? I was kind of unclear on that.
actually, I think I'm pretty clear on this. So let me go ahead
Okay,
and let me go
lay
to
it
the
out
next
for
part.
me, man.
Yeah, because when he explains it, okay, and then I was like, you know what? He doesn't do his artwork is different. I'm not saying it's not anime-ish, but when I saw the girl in here with the hair and everything and the earring, all the stuff, the one that put
The
in its
thing in his
heart
mouth.
shape, yeah, the thing in his mouth, and I think hopefully, yeah, it has the name here. Okay, yeah, here we go. I
Looks
think
like
it's.
a Sailor Moon looking kind of thing on her hair.
I liked it because I'm like, okay, this is an anime. Okay, and I might have already passed it, but okay. Blessing. It is believed. Okay, this is what he says. I think I've already gone past this, but by proving the lineage of succession with your blood to the pot, and by praying for the throne, it is believed that we blessed with special powers. So he tells them this, right?
Hmm.
Okay. But what that was that they were given was an egg. It was
That heart thing.
that heart thing was an egg. And let me skip back because I think I want to read the actual text of this for anybody that's listening. Because it's called it the ovum, which is egg. Okay. Well, anyway, all right. Me go back forward here. Maybe it's explained a little bit later, but it's an ovum. It's an egg, is what it is. Okay.
I'm on page 11 where it's got the big dude at the top explaining it. Talking about
Okay.
the ancient texts.
Yes. Okay. Created the children will be granted powers, even though they don't know, but they were actually kind of it's kind of explained, right? And they're going to
Yeah.
get sacred beasts. Okay. All right.
The thing is
But
wild looking.
oh my! Oh, you're talking about with the. Let me get my notes here. Let me look in there. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Let me throw. Okay. Let me make sure I get this covered. The pot and called it ovum egg. But remember, Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh, you haven't seen it. Okay. I'm being a jerk now. But there's something similar-ish that happens, right?
Yeah.
And now and then we get to the sacred beast, the guardian beast, dozen breast, huge erect nipples, 10 arms, and a tongue thing coming out of the mouth. Maybe that's a tongue. I don't know what the hell it is. But that I have to say, that floored me. I was like,
This thing is wild looking. I'm looking at it now, and I've already seen it, but it's still kind of messing with me looking at it again. It's just like, what the hell is it? Oh my gosh! It's got like, I have no words for this.
the,
Like, Togashi's got some crazy stuff going on in his head to come up with that thing.
the guardian sacred beast, a divine beast born from. And this is important here. Born from the
Hmm.
strong prayers for one's offspring's prosperity, it haunts those with a strong affinity for the dead. That sounds like the fourth prince, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
it feeds on the aura of those that it haunts. It feeds on their aura. And those people have influence on its form and ability. Okay? So these different princes are going to, when their egg hatches, okay, it's a separate entity from this egg. But you know, so, well, okay, we'll just read it again. It'll have influence over their form and ability. Okay. But since it's not created from their own body, okay, it's not bound to the will of the host.
It's a symbiotic relationship. It's kind of like it seems like a give and take thing. It has these abilities and it can kind of be used by the user, but it's not bound to the user.
Yes. So that means that there'll be some opportunities where it may do things that the user doesn't want, but it may do them because to protect the user in its own mind.
It's good and bad. You know, it's kind of like one of those things where if it was bound to the person, maybe it wouldn't work as well if they were injured or something. But since it's kind of its own independent thing, maybe it can save someone if they're in trouble.
Yeah, because they're knocked out or asleep, this thing is still running around. So that's the benefit to it. But I'm saying that it'll see somebody as a threat or something. That I'm just saying there's possibilities because it's not a slave. It's from this egg. It's born, and I guess it's while it's in this world or dimension or whatever, it wants to feed off this person because I guess once they're gone, it goes back to wherever the world it's from.
I wonder if you'd have to use Gil in order to see it, like concentrating your aura into your eyes, or if it's like always invisible otherwise. Or if it's existing in a different plane. Like, I want to know its exact form of existence around the person. If you have to call it out, or if it's always there. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, yeah, that would be very important. And also, as the King of Kaiken said, because of the way it's formed, a weak person isn't going to survive it. So, like I say, Wobble looks kind of,
Is that baby going to be on the ship, I wonder?
I don't know. I mean,
I hope not.
I think that, but the baby. You got to remember, the baby's got to die for somebody to win.
Does it really?
That's my understanding. There's 14 of them, and only one can be alive.
Oh, Tagashi.
Huh?
That's crazy. Oh man, that's rough.
Yeah, but I mean, what kind of coalitions or whatever is going to happen here? I mean, the problem is you'd think coalitions would be impossible, right? But what happens? Maybe the one that has 4 kids, maybe they're going to be like, you know what? We're going to make sure one of us is it, and we're going to kill everybody else. I don't know. Or maybe they'll be like Benjamin in the 4th Prince, and they just right off the bat go, the first thing I'm going to do is kill my brother. So.
Yeah, I don't know if you have you ever seen the Hunger Games?
No, actually I haven't. I'm one of the few people that haven't. No.
It's one of those things. Well, in that there was one of those things where everyone is kind of after the tournament. There's only one winner. Everyone has to die except one person. But before that, there were people kind of making. They were kind of teaming up and stuff. There are these uneasy alliances because they know that eventually, they're going to have to turn on each other. But it's probably going to be the same kind of thing where there may be coalitions. You never know.
Right.
And it's going to be cool seeing it in motion because there's going to be this thing where I'm on your team, but how do I know as soon as I turn my back you're not going to stab me?
Well, it makes perfect sense because I really like your example. It makes perfect sense because it's also what Togashi does anyhow. It just goes by factions. Because some of these people may go, you know what? At least if one of us are king or something, we'll be halfway decent. These other people are dirtbags, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I can easily see that. So yeah, remember he's laid out everybody else in factions. That would be awesome. Let me just do this. 14 princes. There's 14 princes, and they all have bodyguards, and they're all going to have sacred beasts. Holy cow!
Now I wonder if they have any kind of Nen abilities before this though. It's saying this pot gives them powers.
Yes.
Is the only thing they're getting from this pot these sacred beasts, or are they getting like innate powers?
I'd say just the sacred beast. But I mean, look, remember Benjamin? I mean, this guy looked pretty. But you probably he sits there and takes a lion and breaks its neck with one arm.
Yeah,
One's
he's just
talking on the
strangling
phone with
it.
the other. Yeah, he did. He just crushed him. So I mean, yeah, these guys are going to bring abilities and stuff that we don't know about yet, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a combination of these sacred beasts and probably their own innate abilities, which is what I'm thinking.
So we're going to have zodiacs thrown in there. We got all their stuff. So I mean, really, to be honest, there's a lot we don't know. I mean, this to me just what's going to happen on this ship getting there could be many chapters.
This boat is like one place you do not want to be in.
No,
You got Jing,
no.
you got Pariston, that whole debacle. You got all the Zodiacs who no one trusts each other anymore in that faction. You got all these princes who are going to be killing each other. It's going to be mayhem. It's going to be ordered chaos on this ship. I would be surprised. I would be surprised if even half of them even make it to the ship. It's almost like the test is you have to survive the journey to be worthy of the Dark Con.
That seems to be it. And there's 200. The capacity on the ship is 200,000 people.
Oh, jeez, this is I don't want to be on this ship.
No, no, you couldn't get me on that ship for nothing, knowing this stuff. But you know,
Nope,
a
nope,
lot of
nope.
people won't. They'll go, ha ha. They're going to get on there and not realize all this crazy stuff. All right.
Yeah.
And let's see. I'm on the part where Beyond is enjoying some kind of a meal.
Yep, I'm there.
Yeah, and we got Ox. Actually, this whole thing, I think I summed it up kind of quick. Okay, Ox is talking, and it's basically like, and then Beyond's just like, look, he's like, well, we'll let you go to this thing, and Beyond's like, look, by the end of this, he explains, he says, look, they're going to want you to do it. They're going to want me there. They're going to make you have me there. He says, by the end of all this, you'll probably all be bowing your heads down to me anyhow. And in 2 months, we're gonna be there. You know what I mean? In the Dark Continent. That's all I care about. He's just like, look, it's all gonna happen. Go away. Basically, is what Beyond says to Ox. He's got like you got no leverage on him, right? You got
Yeah.
nothing.
Yep.
So that this whole part of it was pretty quick. So I just kind of flew through it. Not a lot there, in my opinion.
I do really like how we at least got a date. You know, August 8th, in 35 more days. We have some form, because before that, you know, it could be tomorrow, it could be, 5 months from now. Now we got some form of, I hope as the chapters keep going, we kind of at least get updates. Like maybe next chapter they say it's July 17th or something,
Right. Well, I'm
So
sure he
that
will.
way we got some kind of, well, yeah.
Well, I mean, remember the Chimera Anarch? I mean, well, it wasn't maybe as regular as we wanted, but he says, look, this has been the first, 10 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Around, okay?
And then they did that with him. It was 10 days leading up to the Palace invasion, too.
Yes.
So, yeah, maybe he will do it. I hope so.
Yeah, we'll get some time stuff here, just like you did here, but I mean, it may not be as often as we want, but yeah. So I skipped through that part, and now we get to Monkey and the Zodiacs. I use 3 monkeys, and he names them. And what's interesting is when they land whenever their attacks are successful, these 3 monkeys, the people lose their sight, their hearing, and their speech, and it's like the monkeys, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
So, bingo. We got right there.
That's a wicked power, man. Not having any of your senses. And I like how he broke it down. He said, like, enhancers are going to be the ones who are least susceptible to this, but it's still going to mess them up,
Yeah, he says because the panic sets in, you can read their actions from their aura flow. And after rendering that garbage helpless, I use my priest staff to give them a full and thorough thrashing. You can't hear Sir speaking, he just beats the shit out of him with that stick. That's awesome.
I wonder what this priest. I wonder if it has any of its own innate abilities, or it's just like a beating stick,
I would bet it will. I can't see, just as a matter of fact, the thing you mentioned, these people can't tell their full abilities. I can't imagine any of them will fully disclose everything.
No, I guarantee it. Actually, it's not even a question, because like I said in that last hangout, it's too dangerous. This world is too perilous. Even with your best friends, you don't want to tell your secrets, because then you have people like Pakanoda, that person in that girl with the mine gun in the troop,
Yeah,
who can just get, as long as she touches you, she can read your mind. So, even if your friends are going to keep your secret, they can't keep it from a mind reader, you
Right.
know. So, but yeah.
True. Very good points. And then we get into the whole dynamics. Let me go ahead and look at this stuff here. Okay, and then the whole dynamics of so we're pretty sure that Monkey is working with Beyond, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but we can't jail him now because that will warn them, and they'll just whatever their plan, they'll be able to adjust their plans. So we don't want to do it until just the last moment, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Don't want to tip them off. Okay, I went, okay, that makes sense. And then the dynamics here. The big problem, and it's especially Ox, because having everybody tell their abilities, he says, has actually made them kind of bond together because they kind of have to trust each other now.
Yeah.
And if they find out, if they can't get something separate from Grupico, well, they got to expose, that he's here and what his abilities are and all this, and that it was all just a setup to try to flush out who the mole was, right?
Yeah, I really liked it how he mentions that there are people in the Zodiac who value, our methods more than the ends of how we get to things, and how that's more important than to the results. How we find out things, the trust between each other is what matters to them.
Yes.
I'm
glad you made that point because that's a pretty powerful part of it.
It
and
is.
Then of course Ox is like, I'm going to be the one. So I'm the one that takes it. So if they can't find, so they have to find something. So now this is their problem. They got to find something just before then on Monkey, or it's going to, it could be, and they may even decide, they may even get to that point and go, you know what, it ain't worth it. Let Monkey off the ship.
Yep. Yeah, they have to have all their ducks in a row before they arrest him. Not only does it have to be at the right time, this is a very sensitive procedure. It needs to be done with the utmost care, otherwise, he lays it out. I'm going to be screwed, and then by association, you're going to be screwed, and then the entire ship's going to be against us. We need to have proof, and it has to be done at the right time. If we don't, we're all screwed.
Exactly. And something that I kind of flew through was they decided not to confront him at all, and not to follow him, but to monitor his communications, because they don't want to tip him off at all, right?
Yeah, and since he's a Zodiac, he's going to be a slick dude.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be easy to be able to keep tabs on him and not, tip him off. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And then there's really not much left. There was Cheadle brings up the issue that the Princes are hiring people, and that they're worried that some of the 100 exam failures are going to get hired, which of course they are. And so I was like, okay, that's Tagashi just letting us know that we're going to see some of these guys again there, which we already kind of know anyhow. And then what I have no clue about is what are the 6 mystery clues that fall below these comrades' eyes.
Yeah. Let's see. This is the Hunter applicants. We finally managed to screen them. So, which princes made this request? Yeah, they're competing with what they're offering for compensation and constantly updating the amount. In all, a total of 6 requests. Is this 6 requests, 6 people they contacted?
I don't know.
It's so weird. I didn't understand the ending either.
I didn't either, and I haven't heard anybody. Trust me, I'm watching other reviewers, and I haven't had anybody come up with anything.
I'm still waiting for King of Lightnings. He usually goes really in depth in his Hunter reviews.
And he usually waits a while to do them, though. But yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does. So I'm assuming I'll get something out of that, and he has really good commenters too. So, and this is another reason why it's good to have these hangouts on Saturday rather than Thursday. It gives everyone else, including us, chances to form theories and ideas and stuff. Let it sink into our heads properly.
Yep, absolutely. So I guess we'll just go ahead and do them on Saturdays. Like I say, I would have done this earlier, but we were doing them because there was no manga. It was an anime, and Thursday's easy. So now we'll just do Saturdays because we'll do them both. So this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for everybody, whether you like this or didn't like this, the person that got me into this was Anthony right here. So you can thank him or curse him or whatever for getting me into Hunter x Hunter, which is just, thank goodness, it's been awesome. Well, is there anything before we close out? Is there anything Hunter x Hunter ish wise that you want to bring up or whatever, or predictions or anything?
I think I'm most interested to see where Monkey's true allegiances are, because well, from face value, it doesn't seem like Beyond has anything to do with it, but there's nothing to say that he's telling the truth, really. I mean, I don't think Karapika used his little chain on him, did he?
Well,
When
let me
Ox
bring
was
up
asking him that.
yeah, let me bring up two things real quick. One is remember what was said before. It's possible that Beyond's memory could have been wiped, part of it, in preparation to come into this.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
like a portion of his memory could have been. But it's also, I mean, to be perfectly honest, it looks like all this stuff. I don't think Beyond is the kind of person that is into the subtle aspects of any of this.
he's not into the
So
politics and
I mean,
everything.
that's
That makes
Pariston.
sense.
It does, and that's Pariston's area
He
anyhow, right? Playing
he
games and all that.
he's like an attack dog on a chain. He's just waiting to be unleashed in the Dark Continent. That does make sense. When he was saying that he doesn't know anything about any of these spies, he had that non-caring kind of attitude. Like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Like, I not only do I not know, but I don't care.
Right.
So it could be Pariston, but then again, nothing is as it seems in Hunter, and I feel like we're gonna get
Uh,
thrown for a loop.
well, I'm sure there's other people, but I could clearly see Pariston, in my opinion, doing that. Something else I want to go ahead and bring up about the King of Kakin.
Yeah.
And this was in another reviewer actually brought this up. He said that the main person that probably funded the killing of Karupika's clan, because remember his whole fetish for death and all that, and for collecting and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
it could have been the King of Kakin himself, or maybe it was the fourth prince, right? But
Yeah.
that the money would be coming from this family is probably what funded just for their own amusement, wipe out a whole clan.
Well, I remember it was mentioned that Krollo he was infatuated with the eyes at one point,
But
and
yeah, but
that's
remember all their stuff's about money, right? Being mercenaries, in Crollo in particular,
well, I'm
right?
sure he probably sold it to them eventually, but I think I maybe they were behind it. I'm leaning towards him just being like he wants these eyes in his collection, then he got bored with them. I think that I'm not sure where it said that, but I remember hearing that in one of the episodes.
Right.
But it makes sense for this king to be behind it, and imagine not only if this fourth prince has all these eyes in his possession, but if he was the one that set it all in motion. Oh my
Yes.
God, we're gonna
Yes.
see rage like we have never seen.
I think that's what we're going to see, Anthony. I think
I hope it. I hope so.
I think so. I think that's exactly what we're going to see. And we may even. The thing is, I mean, the way these factions go, some of these people may actually be worse than the fourth prince. But I think the fourth prince has been introduced to us because I do think, just like what you were saying, that it's all going to be tracked back to him.
Yeah, and then even going back to a few chapters ago when they were saying that he has this like where Ox was saying he has this like dark aura around him, like he's not what he seems, and I think that may be unique to him in this group of princes. You know what I'm saying? That's why we
Right.
were introduced to him first. So there's something off. Obviously, we can see he's a messed up individual, but even beyond that, there's something off with him. And I think all these other princes are underestimating him. It would not surprise me if he just like, if maybe there isn't even like a big struggle on the ship. Maybe he just systematically takes out everyone. And then how much more of a threat would he be to the audience or seem to the audience if that was the case?
Right.
And then I could even see, I mean, I'm going way ahead, but
You're doing good. Keep going.
but I can even see Kurapika maybe losing his mind so much that he uses that judgment restraining chain on this prince when it was specifically put on the restriction that he could only use it on a troop member, and he gets him, but he at the cost of his own life just because he's so enraged. And that would not surprise me because that goes back to what he said about he's expecting a reader backlash. If he kills off a main character like Kurapika, who's kind of a fan favorite, oh my gosh, can you imagine the reaction? it'd be nuts. It'd be pandemonium against among the fandom, and I can't wait to see it, man. I'm so hyped for what's coming up in this story.
Well, and somebody even threw out there that the Fourth Prince might even at one time himself have been the Spider.
That's very true. That's very true. But I wonder if that restriction that Krabi could put on his chain would still apply to him if he used to be a spider. You know what I'm saying? Actually, it probably. I don't think he'd be able to use it on him because remember at the end of York New when Crollo he had that thing put on in his heart there was one of the restrictions that said he couldn't speak to any troop members, and he starts speaking to Hisoka because he's like, well, now I know I can talk to you since you were never a troop member to begin with.
Yeah, you're bringing up an awesome example. Yeah, so it wouldn't help him there.
I don't think it would. So if he uses it on him, he'd probably be screwed. And as much of a hothead as Kurapika has been shown to be, even going back to the Hunter exam when he messed up that one of the prisoners, kind of lost himself there. I could very well see him just not caring and using it, and then he's dead. And what a shocker that would be. And that can very well be one of the top 3 shocking moments that his editor was talking about.
Yes.
So
it could be. Yeah. Maybe even Leorio might die.
Oh man, I hope he doesn't. I want to see more from him first before he kicks the bucket. But yeah, it could be anyone. I don't think after I seen Kite die in the Chimera Anarch, where no one's safe. Nobody is safe in the world of Hunter x Hunter. There's no plot protection.
Right. So awesome. Well, a side note on this, of course, is that I think that the person is. I mean, okay, we'll just throw this in. It's just a total side note before we go and close out or talk about a few other things in here. But who could actually keep all the Chimera that are with the other expedition, right, in line and in order and control them all the way to and in the Dark Continent? Who has the authority to actually be in charge of them? They would listen to.
I guess it depends on in what state their mind is. Like, because remember, when Palm first came into the world out of her cocoon, she was like messed up, and Killua had to bring her back to reality. Like, are they?
Remember the dialogue that she had with the king? Remember that when he's asking,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
She still, as the part of her that was an ant, couldn't stand to see this guy bow.
Yeah. Yep.
And she was just part ant, right?
Yeah, and
that's how ingrained it is in her.
That brings up another good point, because if the king's dead, what kind of state are all these people in that are now Chimera ants? Are they just like, I don't like. You see what I'm getting at? Are they mentally messed up because the king's gone or something, or?
Well, anyway, that'll be true. So they're all going to, because Togashi, the way he's writing, you're going to be different groups, and some are be loyal, and some want to go out and get their own kingdoms. But if they're hanging together, I think the only way they could do that was by royalty. That would be Kite.
Oh, I forgot about Kite.
Kite is the queen right now.
That's so odd. I still can't get used to that.
It is. It is what it is. So, I mean, it would be Kite would actually be controlling them and in charge. And that would be kind of crazy.
And is it Kite still,
Well, and that's another thing.
The Kite we knew?
Well, not 100. Yeah. How much is the old Kite is there, But and that's one was much more human, right, than the king, of course. And
say it again.
It was much more human. Remember, looking and acting, not nearly as much ant as the king was, right?
Yeah, it looked like she had a tail, but that was it.
Yeah. So Yeah, and how much? And of course, the whole thing is how much memory. I mean, right on the mat is like, hey, I know my name, but it's like, how much more do you know? So there's a lot to explore on that too.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it could be just a walking USB, you know, chip that just has memories but nothing else. You know, who
Well, some of
knows?
them, well, it seems like their personalities are similar, but just like all the rest of them. Some of them remembered some things, they didn't remember others. So anyway, I guess we got kind of sidetracked just with what's going to be happening on the other boat.
Yeah, yep.
Right? I mean, we're all know what's going on in this boat. Well, anyway, is there anything before we close this out you want to talk about Hunter x Hunter
Um,
wise?
is is it going to be separate boats with Jing and Pariston?
Oh yeah, remember the yeah. This is a completely different boat because they're taking an alternate route.
I forgot about that.
Harrison.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They got the alternate route. They got Chimera ants that's going to be with them. They got
Oh
all this.
man,
Oh yeah.
it's
This
going to
is
be like a
all.
great duality going on. Then jumping between ships. I that totally skipped out of my mind.
Well,
I'm
we're overloaded
that,
by what's going
yeah.
on this ship, right?
Yeah, we are. We definitely are.
I mean,
Uh,
Tagashi's not messing around. I guess he took 2 years off for good reason. He's like, oh my god, I got to get this square.
yeah, I wonder. I've always wondered how far ahead does he have this all planned. I wonder how much he actually has laid out, and it's just one of those things where each chapter is not being written; it's just being like, finalized. You know what I'm saying? Like little touches here and there, and then it's released. I wonder how much he was doing in this 2 years off. Other than playing World of Warcraft and Dragon Quest.
Yeah, I guess it's Dragon Quest he's big into. Well, I want to say one thing, but he plans it out. So even let me put it this way: somebody that's just going, not to mention any names, somebody that's just going week by week, okay, and has things planned out. It's yeah. God, I'm usually so good, and
Names will not be dropped here, but
yeah, okay, thank you. And then that's different because things are getting pulled out of orifices, just trying to just patchwork, just trying to make something happen. But
orifices. I
Takashi,
love it.
yeah. But Tagashi is it's so graphed out and it's so planned out that basically I think the only thing he's had to do is just making sure that the dialogue is right.
Yeah, and he's he probably was working on it throughout those 2 years because no
Had to,
one
had
no
to.
one no one can just pull these chapters out of, as you so eloquently put it, their orifices.
Yeah,
He had to have been playing it out all this time, and it shows because all this dialogue is being thrown everywhere, and there's all this scheming and schemes of schemes, and people going behind other people's backs, and it's very scandalous and treacherous, story that's being weaved right now. And there's no way, he's a genius, but he's not. There's a reason we call it Togashi Sama. Okay.
yeah. Tagashi's
Well, let me put on my top hat and cane here. But
yeah.
there's just he had to have been playing it out, and I wonder how much help he's gotten from his editor. I'd like to know what his role is. If he's just kind of like one of those people, pulls them in, be like, listen, it's good ideas, but I don't think we should go in that direction. Or he's just like a editor in its purest form, checking grammatical errors or art errors or something like that. Because each manga usually has a chief editor, I believe.
Right. Or what is it? But I guess there's probably other people he talks to. I'm sure he's reading his. Oh, well, that brings up another point. Is somebody said I've only watched a few episodes of the stands, but they're saying that what these sacred beasts look like. Everybody's going like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They're stands. They're
I've
symbols.
heard that. I've heard that too. People have been drawing a lot of. I don't know much about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I only watched the first episode that started
Yeah.
Crusader or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if have you been watching it?
No, I only watched 2 or 3 episodes, but the creatures look similar. I think they're different because, like I say, this is an egg and it has a lot to do. But he's already shown us the dynamic, the environment, right? The ecosystem of these heroes. They get the egg, it hatches, it's feeds off the aura, but it's formed by person, right? Their aura, the type of person they are, their strength. So a weak vessel won't be, will make a very weak, sacred. Like I say, Wobble. Wobble looks like he's just going to get annihilated. Poor little Wobble. I couldn't do that. I'd be like, okay, we can't have babies in this contest. Here's poor little Wobble. He's not even walking yet, and he's in the fight for his life.
Yeah, maybe it may be one of those things where maybe the mother is like the one who represents him. Maybe she's badass or something.
It could be, but like I say, I mean, some of these guards may be, like I say, remember they're already hiring hunters and other people on hunter fails and whatever. Who else? Who knows what's going to be? And like I say, and I think most people, what they're wanting is they're wanting to see spiders on this boat.
And yeah, and as it was mentioned that these chimeras are coming along, what if Gyro, since he's a chimera, maybe what if he pops up?
Well, I don't. You
never know. I don't think so, but maybe
I really don't want to. Well, yeah, that's it could be, but I think that'll be later. But until he tells us more about him. So, but yeah.
I was just saying because he is a chimera ant. So, but it's a long shot. I'll give you that.
Well, I couldn't even, like I say, until Togashi breaks down some more on that. Okay. Well, anything else? Because I think we're about there.
I think I'm tapped out. I think I got it. Is there any? Do you have any predictions of your own or?
No, not really.
It's so hard.
I know. Well, I just want to say something briefly. I've just noticed that the reaction of it seems like a lot of people I'm really shocked. A lot of people only watch the anime. I know we're a lot of reviewers, even Sawyer 7 Mage and a lot of for Neverworld. They were just watching the anime, not reading the manga, which is
that is. Well, I think there's one of those things where people. I think it got around that his art was very, very inconsistent.
Yeah.
And that's me being as nice as I can about it.
Sure.
And there's also a thing where his releasing of chapters was very inconsistent. So maybe it was one of those things where a lot of people just didn't want to get too invested. And since the anime's been so brilliant that you don't even need it. I would I think it was Michael that said he should just team with Madhouse and just release his stuff that way. Can you imagine? That's what I want for Christmas, Steve.
Well, what I want is for Hero to start doing the artwork. I really like Hero's artwork.
Oh, he's one of the best.
If
best.
If Hero would do the world a favor and stop writing, and then do the art for Hunter x Hunter, it would just be amazing. The only bad thing would be is when we saw that Sacred Beast for the Kaken guy. He probably would have made it arousing, which would be disturbing. It would be like, oh my god, it actually looks kind of
hot. I knew where you were going with that. I guess I don't want to say too much more. I don't want to get too harsh, but Hero.
All right, let's go ahead and close out. We were probably getting punch drunk. We've been on here for a while, but I've needed this, man, and it's been a while since we've been on here, so it's been awesome to get on. And what is it? We don't have that many. Tuesday, here we go. There's another anime. We got Goto and Hisoka going at it, which is going to be amazing, and then
can't wait.
Another chapter. We got a double chapter coming out this week, don't we?
Yeah, I hope it's a double chapter. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be. I think it's just a double issue. But if it's 2 chapters, oh man, we're gonna need quite a long time to discuss it in the Hangout.
That'd be interesting. But that'd be awesome. Well, anyway, like I say, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out.
All right.
And all right, thanks again. Until next time, take care.